In Q 1 month. There we go. I mean, that's a nice little spot for it to get back into. Right, midway into that inefficiency. And right here at the top of that structure. If we end up continuing to break and hold below this area, I just think we end up down there. And the weekly just kind of looks bearish. We got a really nice double top here. This is, I think, all-time highs. No, all-time highs is going to be above that. I'm sorry. Yeah, right there. We just got up into here. Rolled over, came back up to this order block, rolled over again. And this NQ is looking a little different than the other one. Huh. I don't like it when they're not together. That's the reason why I don't use the continuous contracts to trade off of. I mean, you can. It's just the structure. You get all the candles, right? But the structure is just a little bit different. So it's okay to look at sometimes to kind of get an idea of where we're at, like in the past, as far as like all-time highs or whatever. But really, the current contracts are the only ones that we really need to be looking at, constantly charting with, because this right here. We're lower. So um but yeah, I really think that we might be heading to the low 1400s here on the NQ. I hate to see the market give back that much, but I don't really think it's got much of a choice. So overall picture is pretty bearish, especially if we continue on this run. We close below that. We just continue on that run. I don't see any way around it. Daily. I'm going to take that off. It just seems to be in my way. I was really wanting this to continue a little bit yesterday after we got down into here. I wanted it to turn and just kind of go up, but we did not. We just kept breaking below this area. And again, that's that area of where we broke below that. There's no reason why we stop now and turn around. So morning, Kyle. Dropping on into a 4. Still have that sideways consolidation. We've just dipped down into some lower lows. You can see we kind of bottomed out around in this structure right here. Really kind of like this. Once we get into a lower time frame, like this, if this is going to continue to be bullish today, we need to have a pretty good candle. Because I like the consolidation to the on the left there and this run down. Like I'm fine with that. But if we're going to turn bullish, then we're gonna have some type of significant candle to show that. And I mean, right now this is just a pretty bearish market. So if we continue to kind of grind back to the top side, then I'm going to look for shorts. Just because I think it's just setting liquidity up to be taken if it's not already happening right now. And on the highest time frame, that weekly, like we were just saying, overall, it just seems like we're going to be bearish because we broke below that. If we hold below that, then I think we get down into here longer term. Go the hourly on that. Then you start seeing that consolidation grind back up, right? And straight line underneath here. Yeah. We look like we started to kind of break out and then we just immediately pulled back. Let's see what it does right here on this candle in the next 30 or so minutes. This candle continues to be bearish and ends up pretty solid, similar to that one. Then we're probably coming down to at least consequent encroachment of that wick, which is 50% of it. That's what I would assume. It's going to come and grab all that liquidity. And if this candle decides to break up, give us some type of bullish candle, then I would expect the next one to come here and do the same and possibly break the highs of that. If we do, we might get on up here into this inefficiency. And then it just really depends on, what the market's going to end up doing at that point, with news. Our news today is not very big. At 8:30 we've got durable goods coming out, so it's not that much news. So whichever direction that the market chooses to kind of head into, we might, slowly stay, in that direction. Tomorrow's news, I think, is going to be the driver for the week. So I think whatever happens today is going to set up for whatever move it's preparing for tomorrow. So 15-minute chart, as you can see, nice consolidation, dip into those lows, immediate rejection. We get a little bit of a push. I would have expected with with this type of consolidation, this type of rejection, I would have expected a small amount, but then a continuation overnight. And we just didn't get that. I mean, we've continued upward, of course, but it just, this is more sideways and then a little bit to the upside. So I think that's where we're at right now. A little bit of liquidity build right there, in which we just dumped. And I think right now we're just at that crossroads where, it could go either way. This candle's engulfing over top of that one, then we'll probably get a little bit of a pushback, like I said, to this high. If for some reason in the next 3 minutes we break down, then we're probably going to come back down to at least the daily, cover up that liquidity. And this right here, looking a lot like that right there. I don't think we'll have a day like that, but just that overnight run, right? Got this little move, consolidation, just looking at similar days, right? Consolidation to the right, dip down overnight. This little pullback that just didn't continue into some very stagnant trading. And then all of a sudden we push back down into the lows. And then we just stay right inside of a range. Big news day would come like the next day. So possibly a similar setup today. Let's go to ES. Already down here to this weekly, which is a good sign for kind of a turnaround, right? We broke and closed below this week, already pushed down into here. Not saying we don't get much further. I mean, not saying that we can't get any further. We do have some liquidity sitting right there with a little bit of inefficiency left in that area. Liquidity void right in there between that one and that one. That'd be a good little spot for if we do end up continuing to fall, maybe a good little spot for consolidation and maybe a turn back. But um, I think right now on the ES might be a good place for this week to have gotten to its lowest. All right, get back to the daily. We're settled right here on the structure. A lot of junk right here, a lot of junk below it. So it's just a good area for it to stall out. 4 hour yesterday, we were looking at that, building that liquidity right there. That's what we're looking at. And I was really wanting that right there to break up, but it didn't. It just turned over. And we didn't get the setup. So I was bullish yesterday, and we didn't get the setup, any kind of a setup that I would have wanted right in there, period. Like, we'll go into the lower time frames, and I'll go ahead and show you. I wasn't able to be around the market all that much yesterday, but I was looking bullish, and we had liquidity, pretty good straight line right there. This kind of turned in, this popped up. If we had some good continuation out of it, then that would have been a nice run. We didn't. It just dumps, and I stayed on the sidelines. Never took a trade. Didn't really get to look at it after that. Just kind of saw where the market dropped to after open, and never considered anything about it. Because yesterday I was telling you the ES was looking a little bit better than what the it was. Let me take it back. The ES, to me, I was able to just read it a little bit better than the NQ. So I was watching the ES a little more than the NQ. Didn't give me the setup that I wanted to the long side, so I didn't take anything. So this structure here lined right up with that mean threshold that I had put in on this candle yesterday morning. We did get it, that good bounce off of it, but then consolidated right there at that weekly, which we talked about, and then it just dumped. I would have wanted to have seen that inefficiency hold and an immediate rejection back to the upside. Didn't get that, so I've figured out that on days when I have a pretty good set bias in the market where I just feel like, this is a bullish setup, everything about this should go to the upside, and it doesn't, I end up losing some pretty good trades. Like, I take trades a little early, anticipating the move. I hold it and I hold it and I hold it, and then I'll just get stopped out. So I have figured that out in my trading. It's taken quite a while. Now I've gotten to the point to where if I have a clear idea and that idea doesn't seem to pan out, I just get busy doing something else. And there's always tomorrow. There's not a tomorrow if I keep, losing chunks out of my account. So if I have a clear bias in the market or feel like the market should do a certain thing and it don't, I go away. Easier said than done. I get it, but if I'm and this is also the difference of me being in the classroom and I'm able to get busy and walk away. If I'm sitting at the charts, I probably could talk myself into reversing and hitting that inefficiency at the break of structure, right? Going into a lower time frame and seeing this area and then dropping down. So, but the fact that I can't be at the charts the whole time, I'm able to really just walk away. So, So this dump in here on the 4-hour looks a lot like that NQ. So I fully expect some more of that liquidity to be taken, or I would hope so. Some more of that liquidity to be taken here. But when it does, I would want and it turns bullish. And if it's gonna turn bullish, then I want to see a rejection, like a quick rejection. And then maybe we can get some type of trade off of this push back to the upside. Or we go into, again, lower time frames. We build structure right here. So let's just say this is my structure. I've never been able to bend. What? That was supposed to be one line. Dude, my mouse looks like I'm in the need for another one. Change the battery out on it and still doing the same thing. So I think it's just my clicker part. Gonna have to get another mouse. Let's say we build structure and we just kind of gnaw back into this area. We got a little liquidity up here, and then we just start breaking back down. If this structure doesn't hold, right, then that's probably going to be our short trade. You could probably turn bias and go short, aim for this area, aim for that. That's that weekly structure. That could be where the bounce ends up having it, or that's just where a target could be. So, and you'd have all that liquidity that would help drive it down there. Nice order block right there. So that could easily be a good play. I think probably happen around market open. But I would definitely want to see this pull back up a little bit and then drop down. Give me some kind of break right there. And then a continuation. That's the kind of structure I would want to see in that situation. Tick back up into this liquidity, roll over, break structure, and then go. And then my target can be down there. I mean, you got 30 points in there. This is at 4,300, 4,330. Be pretty good. You could easily get anything over 10, right? You can easily see yourself making 5 points on the ES there. And again, if we decide, I think we're just in a pretty good spot too to, get trades on both ends of it, right? Because we've already built this structure up now. So if this decides that it's wanting to keep going up here, well, now we've broken structure to the upside, right? We've taken some liquidity. We pulled it to the upside. We broke through the Monday low. That could be the next trade. And then you could target this structure. You could target mean threshold of that order block right there. It's probably the best place to go. And that's another 15 to 20 points right in there that you could see easily happening. So that gives you two options and keeps your bias neutral. So I can see that. And then I would be done. One trade and done. I don't know if in my opinion, I don't think the market trends today at all. I could be obviously completely wrong. We had a decent little trend yesterday. Market open, we just kept going all the way down 2-3 o'clock, right? But I don't think today trends. I think we kind of find an area in which we just go sideways and wait for whatever news pops up tomorrow, which is going to be the GDP, and then Powell speaking at 4 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. So tomorrow night's opening at around 6 o'clock, and it's 6. I think it's 6. Or is it 5? I think it's 5 o'clock my time, so it'd be 6 o'clock y'all's time. Yeah, 6 Eastern. Might be a decent little open. We might find a pretty good little gap Is it, I say tomorrow, 5 o'clock tonight, 6 o'clock tonight for y'all. So maybe they'll give us a pretty good idea of what really is going to happen. I mean, we've already moved up here on the NQ, already kind of broke down. Yeah, this is another one of those things where similar to the ES right here, right? So liquidity here, we have structure here. Looks like we're putting in structure down here. So it's really just what happens in the next, 5 to 10 candles. 10's probably too many, but if we come here and then we reject down, then look for shorts when we break that structure. If we come here and then continue to break up, then taking a trade around the Monday low, targeting this um median and then the weekly open, which has been a pretty good area so far. I think that would be, again, staying neutral in the bias. If I'm going to go long, I'm going to take smaller targets. If I'm going to go short, because it just seems to be the way we're trending, then I can probably extend my targets. So if I'm normally trading to make 20 points on the NQ, let's go back to the ES. If I'm normally trading to make 5 points on the ES, then most trades, if I go long, I'm going to shoot for um, three. Oh my God, 3 to 5. All right. And then if I take a short trade, if it comes back up and we break, then here I can probably hold for 7 to 10. The and the reason being is look at the grinds that the market makes back to the upside, right? It just doesn't go up quickly. So you're gonna be holding for a little bit longer of time. Liquidity is gonna be built, and then there's another example of it right there. And then look at the moves to the downside. Super quick. I mean, even right there. Look how much it gave back in one candle and how long it took in so many candles going to the upside. So the downward pressure is a lot more than upward pressure. So to me, the the if I'm going long, I'm taking smaller profits. If I'm going short, I can probably hold for a little bit longer. Obviously take my partials, move my stops. We're not going to go full profit 10 points, anything like that. If you're in two contracts, take one off at 5, move your stop to break even. If it moves to 7, move your stop to 3 contracts. If it moves to, 8 or 9, you feel like it could probably get to 12, move your target, to 12 points and then move your stop to 7. Just things like that. Like that, just think through those trades while you're managing it. And if you can't manage it, then, stick to your 5 points on the ES. If we're shooting on the NQ and my normal targets are 20, then I take a long, then I'm going to be looking for anywhere between the neighborhood of 15 to 20 points, long, possibly even 10 to 15. Small targets, moving my stop, trailing it. If I hit my 10 mark and I feel like it's got some more in it, then move my stop up to about 8 and let it run. I mean, that's kind of a tight stop on the NQ, but you get my point. And if I'm taking shorts, then I can hold for the full 20 to possibly even 40, almost doubling it, because it's gonna make those jumps. Because I mean, you still see that these markets are similar, so you can still see the grind to the upside that the markets are making, and then the just absolute dumps to the bottom. So a lot more downward pressure. Shorts, I'm going to hold for full, you know, taking my partials, but I'm probably going to be more confident in holding for the full amount until it shows me something different. And If that's going to happen on a 4 hour chart, it's going to happen way up in here around the median. Price gets here. If we get like a huge snap to the upside, look for a little bit of a pullback. And then if it starts to hold, then we continue. Then I can probably start looking for longer holds on longs. Oh, that's not confusing. That's just trade management, just getting in there and managing your trades. If you can do that, then not necessarily standing over and hawking over each little movement that the market makes, but not having a 12-point trade on the ES turn into a 5-point stop out. I mean that's more than that makes. So you don't want to do that. You gave back 7 points to win 5, and I don't think that's not good management. So even though it was a positive trade and you made 5 points, you gave back more than what you actually made on the trade, and to me that's that's a loss. Not I mean, especially if you're in an account that is a trailing drawdown. you know you get back 7 points on the ES, then that's a $50 a point. You're looking at what, $350 that you just gave back just to win $250. Like you were up 600 to make 250. Like that's, to me, that's not good management. You do want to give your trades room to kind of move, but at the same time, especially when you're in trailing drawdown accounts with funded accounts or whatever, you've got to take the profits. Like you just have to. So if you're up to 12 points on the ES, your stop needs to be around 7 or 8. Period. Oh God. All right, new mouse this week. I like this mouse too, man. It's a miniature one. I think it's just the clicker's going bad. It's not holding it. He still works fine as far as one touch, but I don't know. Take a really close, quick look at the dollar, and then we'll probably call it. I don't really think there's much else to talk about as far as the futures goes. But we'll take a quick look at the dollar and just see that this is just, again, I said it earlier, it's just resilient, right? News came out yesterday and it was fairly negative. Consumer confidence was negative by almost 3 points. New home sales was down almost 20,000, or actually a little over 20,000. And the Richmond manufacturing was the only thing that was actually decent. And then we had that stupid little S&P CS composite thing that doesn't do anything anyways. I don't even know why it's there. It was actually positive, but both of those I mean, the dollar didn't even react to it. You zoom in to 10 o'clock yesterday on the news. Way over here. Yeah, look, see that jump? It didn't even react to it. There it is right there. There's your 10 o'clock. That's when consumer confidence and the home sales come out. The 9 o'clock news. Yeah. I wouldn't call that a news reaction. I mean, that candle right there doesn't really do much. 5 minutes, 5 minutes. I mean, it's a good move, but I don't think that's a reaction to the news. Reaction to the news is going to be one candle. You've been around enough to see that. So I just don't think, I mean, the dollar's just didn't really have like huge moves. It was just grinding all day long to the upside. And that's just not allowing the market to do anything. Hey, man, have a good run. I know the weather's getting nice. So enjoy it. Appreciate you being here, Kyle. But yeah, I just think that the dollar's just been resilient, man. So the euro has just been getting just absolutely crushed. And we're here at the 4 hour. We've got sell side liquidity that it just looks like we're coming down here for, right? We've already pushed through that, created, a bounce, got here, messed around, and then dumped. And now we're just heading down here to this sell side. So dollar looks like it might stay a little bit stronger for a little bit. So if that's the case, then I would assume that the markets continue to kind of drop a little bit into these structures. And that makes sense, right? That kind of lines up longer term. But all right, Mr. Pat, I appreciate you being here, man. And if you have any questions, feel free to send it to me. I still kind of pop in as much as I can. So I will try and actually be around the market. I actually like the having no bias today as far as where the markets are going to go. We got pretty good news coming tomorrow, especially tomorrow evening. We got a lot of liquidity built up here and inefficiency above it for the most part. We got some inefficiency above it. So I really like the fact that we don't have any kind of a bias moving in. This right here looks like a very bullish pattern, but I mean, just looking at it, it's a pretty bullish pattern.
Hey, Joey.
Yeah, man.
Can you point me to a couple of introductory lessons or something like with ICT or YMT?
Yeah. Hang on. Let me see if I can find. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to point you to somebody who really does a great job. They're small, short, quick videos that I recommend him all the time. He actually even has his own Discord. Again, greatest salesman in the world, right? But no, he's I recommend him to a lot of people just because he is very concise. And really good with his trades. And he's been kind of putting out some videos going back into some of his other videos. So he keeps kind of updating those ICT models, which is another cool one. But I'm gonna put you on the playlist of. Let's see if I can't. There we go. Yeah, the foundation. Make sure that I've got. Yeah, so the foundation videos are all liquidity discount stuff like that. I mean, it's pretty much basic ICT stuff. The longest video he has in here is 18 minutes long. Most of them range around 8 to 9 minutes, which is YouTube algorithm stuff. Like he used to put out 4-minute videos, and then he completely, those videos don't make you money. So he had to add double the time to most of them. And when he did, but this guy went from I watched his YouTube channel he went from like 500 subscribers to 100,000 in basically 13 months.
Wow.
That's just, I mean, and to me, like he never sold anything. Like he did everything basically on YouTube is 100% for free. He just really explained ICT in a good way. Like I was kind of envious of how well he did with it. So that link right there should take you to the foundation videos. It's a playlist of about 8 videos that are basically the foundation of ICT.
I've more than doubled my Signal account this year, day trading.
There you
go. Okay, great.
Yes, sir. So yeah, and like I said, T Trades is one that I would definitely recommend being on his YouTube channel, like and getting the updates for him, because he just did a video on ICT Sun's model, like he's broken that down, the 30-second setup. He goes into breaker blocks and optimal trades, like he just keeps putting out these videos that are 12 and 20 minutes long. And so he's a college student. He's got time. He's like 22, 23. So
Well, and he must have a gift for this stuff.
Well, he's a good teacher. I as far as his trading goes, I'm assuming he's a good trader. He doesn't. I've never really followed his trading all that much. I do, like I said, I do know he's got a Discord that he's pretty active in. He didn't start that Discord until a few months ago, maybe 6 months ago at the most, and it's basically free. I think it's still free. Well, I know the Discord itself is actually still free. I don't think he charges any kind of membership for anything. I don't think he sells anything. Because I mean he makes all of his money on YouTube. But he's a good teacher. And what I like about him, he's a good teacher. Like he is very good at breaking down a complex problem and simplifying it in a short span of time.
Oh, very good.
Yeah. So you'll connect with that right away. You'll understand what I'm talking about. So but yeah, let me know how you if you get through some of those videos, just send me a message. Let me know how you like it. And if
Okay.
you have any questions, any clarifications, like, hey, he mentioned this, like he used a different term or something like that. What does he mean by that? Just send me a message. I'll answer that right away.
Okay. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. All right.
Alrighty. You have a great day.
Hey, you too, buddy. Have a good one.
Thanks.